go live. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hey, everybody, happy day. This is weird. Okay, be patient with me while I'm trying to figure out.
Hey, yeah, I think it's
stream. Got it. Okay. So, Joey, can you see?
I can see the video on YouTube.
Oh, this is so weird. Okay, so I'm gonna have to mute one of them. The Zoom keeps going back and forth between your screen and my screen.
Because I'm talking.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. How do they do this? I know I can figure this out. Okay.
Okay, let's see if that worked.
Because there's a delay.
Yeah.
YouTube live and hearing you from Zoom. This is very weird. And the Zoom keeps switching from my to your screen. Technical difficulties, everybody. Just, let me figure this out. I think this is going to be the problem of us sharing the same. I think this is the problem. It keeps shifting back and forth between your screen and my screen. Do you see that?
And I think that's just because of a setting, because like normally it would show my face when I'm talking. I think it's a meeting setting. You pin?
I have me pinned.
Oh, well then why is it not?
So it should be streaming my screen, but I think because we are both using the same email for the.
Do you want to send an invite to my other email and see if it'll work that way? I mean, we don't have to do it right now. We can try another time, but it's up to you.
I just want this to work. I just want this to work. I just want this to work. That's going to make it pretty. There are people watching right now. Thank you for being here. We are going to figure this out. If anyone has any suggestions on how to live stream from Zoom, I would really, really, really be super grateful to hear your suggestions. Because it's super confusing.
Do you see, is it because it's a gallery view? It says that in the upper left corner of your Zoom window, there might be a control that you can control and take off gallery view. Is that a thing?
I can try to leave it as a gallery view.
Oh gosh, it should take it off. That's what we really need to do. No, dang.
Everybody must figure this out.
The present moment.
Yep, this is being present in the moment. This is what that looks like, and we're gonna figure this out. And oh, I remember what we did. Okay, all right. I remember what we did whenever we did the what you call it, when I did the video, the podcast thing. Then go to the chat and it'll say pop out chat. What you want to do is mute the YouTube video, click pop out chat, And then just have that chat overlaying, but where did it go? Where did it go? This is so confusing, y'all. This is so incredibly confusing.
If you have
It's probably not even that confusing. We just don't know. We just don't know the steps yet.
I just don't know the steps yet. I'm learning.
All this used to be so much more intuitive.
I'm learning, and that's great.
Right. It's part of relearning how to work the world, basically.
Yes. So where is, okay. Okay, I figured it out on my end.
Yay.
No. I don't know if YouTube has figured it out yet. Again, there's a 20-second delay.
No, I think we got it because I'm not
Yeah.
seeing this switch anymore.
It's not switching back and forth.
Just you now.
It's just me. Okay, I changed it to gallery on my end.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Success.
Right. We did it. Okay. Phenomenal. 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 So now I have the, hi Betsy. Oh, my friend Betsy is here. Thank you so much for being patient, Betsy. We're figuring it out. I'm really grateful that you're here. Betsy is a friend of mine for quite a while.
Aw. Well, I'm sure her good vibes helped it work.
Yeah. And oh, I typed hi bestie. Oh, bestie.
Better.
So, all right, now that we're here, we can get started. So, just being mindful in the chat that there is a 20-second delay between my video and your video. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Misfit Sanctuary Topic Tuesday. I am super excited to be joined with my lovely, wonderful friend, Joey. Oh, hey, Natasha just joined. Yes, we figured it out. It took us quite a bit, but we did figure it out. There's a bit of a delay in the video, but we're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. So I'm joined with my lovely friend Joey, and she's just going to be joining us in audio today. But today we're going to be talking about being present in the moment. So hi Joey, thank you.
Oh. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great, and you look great too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, my pleasure. It's so fun.
Yeah, Joey's joining me because it's always more fun to do these kinds of things with friends. And we do a lot of work together. She's also one of the people that I do sessions with. We've been doing sessions for a while. So the stuff that we're talking about in these Topic Tuesdays, so many times for me. And it's just really helpful to have her here to help me, you know. I think it's more fun to hear two people talk instead of just me rambling on. So today we're going to be talking about being present in the moment, which is the meat and potatoes of pretty much everything I do with healing. It all starts with being present in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
Because if we are not present in the moment, we can't be conscious creators, right?
Yeah.
Like, because, so I guess I'll start at the beginning. And I think it's important that everybody understands that we are powerful manifestors. We are amazing creators of our reality, whether we are present and aware that we're creating or not. Like, it doesn't really matter if we're aware that we're creators. We're still creating. So when we're not conscious and present in the moment, because we create from each moment that we're in, then when we look at our life is going to be kind of all wonky, because maybe we're present and then maybe we dissociate. Maybe we're present and then we're distracted. And maybe we're present, or maybe we're so traumatized we're never present. And then we wonder why the world that's reflected back at us is so crazy, because we're not actively present in the moment. And so a way to illustrate this with like is understanding that our guides and God or source, the universe, creator, whatever word you use for that, our angels, they are only present in the moment, because we are the ones that live on a timeline, right? They are, everything is now, everything is happening now. And we have this amazing ability to time on our own timeline. Time travel is already real. And we time travel in the past or in the future. And of which way we're time traveling, that's going to affect our vibration in the moment. And it's the vibration in the moment that creates our next, experienced reality. And so if we want to imagine how it feels to be like in a fair or in a mall when you're really little and it's like holiday season, or you're somewhere where there's like a Disney or whatever, it's a sea of people, and you're holding the hand of your caregiver. And if you're holding the hand of your caregiver, you'll feel safe. Like maybe you'll be like, oh, there's a lot going on, but you'll be like, I got this. Like, I'm connected to my source of safety. And so I'm okay. But what happens the moment you break contact?
Yeah, you're lost.
You're lost. Panic, right? Panic, fear, worry, doubt, chaos, right? Chaos. And is what happens when we're not present in the moment. And so we end up having this experience where so many of us are walking around, oh, I have anxiety disorder. I'm anxious. I know I myself have been diagnosed with anxiety disorders. The reality of it is that anxiety is nothing more than an alarm system. It's like a primal alarm system built into our consciousness that says, like, its purpose is to say, hey, you're not here, you're not present, you're out of your body. And when you're out of your body, you're going to create chaos. You just are going to, unless you're purposefully going into the future, consciously aware of what you're creating, mostly you're going to create chaos, because you're going to be either in the past revisiting some sort of trauma, or you're going to be taking the trauma and throwing it into the future. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. And I think that we're trained into this socially, right? So many things happen to kick us out of that presence, and nobody gives us the information on what that anxiety really is and really means. I think we're all in anxiety. It's like that whole PTSD. Nobody really knows how to get back in. We're certainly not taught how to get back in the present. We're taught not to.
Right. We're taught to be distracted. Like, our entire world around us is set up to be distracting. And I can go into my own conspiracy theories of why I think that is, but
Sure.
the reality is that's the way our world is set up. And so we were taught that our body is a communication device.
Yeah.
Been taught that. We've not been taught that our body is a communication device. And the way that our body communicates is through sensations, through pain, through illness, through injury, right? And on based on the kind of injury or illness or symptom or sensation that we're having,
Absolutely.
that is the communication. And so even when you're sick, like even when I was like really sick with Lyme disease, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with my body. And I this, like a little side note, this is hard for people who are dealing with chronic illness. This is a massive shift for you, is to understand that your body is not broken. You are not broken. Your body is working exactly the way it's supposed to work. It is sensations and illness and injury to show you that there is trauma active. And if you address that trauma and heal that trauma and release that trauma, then the illness or the sensation or the injury will go away. Like if you've ever woken up and you're like, oh, I don't know, my elbow just suddenly is hurting. That's sensation.
I'm dealing with this, impacted ulnar nerve that's really messing with me. And every day I have to go, okay, so don't get mad at my body because that's not what's happened.
Yeah.
Like what's really going on with this? And it's, I'm still figuring it out. And there's a lot there. And I realize it's so kind of funny because you said you've dealt with this issue. And I know like 3 people now that I've had it, like a lot of us have dealt with this issue. And, a lot of people call it phone wrist or phone elbow, right? Because it's the way we hold our. But there's like obviously something deeper going on with that.
Totally. And anytime we're dealing with a nerve issue, we're looking at communication.
Yeah.
So there's a breakdown in communication. And we always want to start with ourselves because our outer reality is a reflection of our inner experience. And before we start going, where's my problem with communication with the world? We want to understand, like, I can biohack my experience and just go into, okay, where like, am I communicating with myself kindly? Listening to the communication my body is giving me before it leads to pain. Like my prayer for years and years and years was like, dear God, please let me hear the gentle whispers of spirit before the 2x4 slaps me in the face. Because we are so distracted and dissociated, and we're not taught really how to listen and communicate with that side of ourselves, that we don't hear those gentle whispers. And again, to hear those gentle whispers, we need to be present in the moment. And so, that is really the meat and potatoes, because once we're present in the moment, harness all of this control.
Yeah.
We take our power back the moment we get present in our moment. But I work with a lot of my clients and they're like, do that. Like, I don't even know when I'm not present.
Yeah.
Right. And
because
so
that's being not present is to not know.
yeah, and we don't know what we don't know. And so we're dissociated. And that's why it's important to begin to shift our beliefs about what anxiety or pain or whatever is. I know for me, a lot of purpose behind the pain that I had for years and years and years was the pain was literally the only thing keeping me in my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just not on purpose, not aware of it, but I was dissociated and in my mind. And it created this weird thing where this is when we talk about secondary gain. in sex,
Yeah.
right? The thing that is causing us to do something becomes like the problem, right? So
Yeah.
I would dissociate, and so my body was in pain. And I would dissociate because my body was in pain.
Yeah.
And it created this, it can create this trap that we get in. And I think it's important for us to understand that the way we've been taught is there's some sort of external stimulus, and then I respond to it, right? There's some sort of something happens and I feel some way about it. There's something going on and then I respond. But really what it is we have something active within us, a belief, a thought, a vibration, and then the outer world reflects it back to us to get us to see that we have it active.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding that, we make stories up about what it is that we're experiencing, and oh, that I'm like that. When actually it's like, I am like that, and so that happens.
Yeah.
And so being present in the moment and owning that I am the creator of my reality. And so I just really want to implore and encourage everybody to experiment with your life. This is how I learned all of this. Was I got direct communication from my soul council to do this, and I just experimented with it. And it's like, what would happen in my life if I chose to believe that I'm powerful?
Yeah.
And even with that, all kinds of things are going to come up. Who do you think you are? That's egotistical. You're being selfish. You just want attention. Like, these are the things that come up for me, right? And so, okay. So these are the blocks that are in between where I'm at and me and my power. Do the work of working through all of that. And then we get to a place where okay, I can say, I can at least experiment that there might be a possibility that I might have power. Like, even if we can get to that point, I'm willing to believe.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to experiment. I'm just going to see what happens. Worst case scenario, I stay miserable. Best case scenario, right? Something like actually changes. And so when we can experiment with what if I am powerful, and what if my thoughts do create my reality, and see what happens then if you harness the power of your thoughts. And in order to be able to harness the power of your thoughts, you have to be present in the moment to what kinds of thoughts are active, and to have that direct connection with source and your guides to know how can I think about this differently, and what am I creating, right?
Because you're always creating, even with the subconscious patterns. I mean, that's kind of that's the fun of it, even though sometimes it doesn't seem fun, is let's uncover what we have going on subconsciously, because that's how we've been doing our creating.
Yeah. It all comes from the subconscious. So the thing is to understand that there's never any, we can take relentless responsibility for our experience without slipping into shame and blame and guilt. That's possible. We don't have to slip into shame and blame and guilt. We can just take a step back and kind of watch our experience like it's a movie and go, oh yeah, okay, I see, because I have this active, this is happening. But the opposite is true also. Oh, because I shifted up, because we're going to shift up or shift out, right? Because I chose to shift up, I manifested this awesome opportunity. Way to go. Look at what I'm creating. I'm amazing. It's not just about noticing the things we're creating that are unpleasant. It's also about acknowledging and celebrating ourselves when we create something that is positive. And so then the question becomes, well, how do I stay present in my moment? Like, how do I that look like? And so I would like to walk y'all through the process that I teach in my coaching practice. And so it starts with first realizing you're going to have some sort of alarm, right? You're going to have anxiety or fear. You'll feel a rush of adrenaline. You'll catch yourself thinking something that doesn't, like you'll have the realization of, oh, I don't feel great. Like, oh, what's going on? As you become better with this practice, it becomes easier to see before you have a negative feeling, right? But in the beginning, the cue is going to be, I feel like shit. Something doesn't feel right. I don't like how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling anxious. We'll go with it. Anxiety. Okay. So I feel anxious because it's something that a lot of us are feeling in the world right now. I feel anxious. Before you create a story about the anxiety, we need to realize and take responsibility that we're in a lower vibration in that. And if we're looking for a solution from the same place where the problem is, we're not able to come up with a better solution. So we've got to shift up, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we go, oh, okay, I am feeling some kind of way. All that means right now in this moment, all that means is I'm not present, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like making that the immediate response. I feel anxiety and I are my feet.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, and then you want to go through the grounding practice of, okay, and you can do this in your mind if you're around people, you know, or you can do it out loud by yourself, whatever. For me, at the beginning, I tended to dissociate so strongly that I had to say it out loud.
Yeah.
To keep myself in the moment, I had to say out loud all of the things I was doing, because as soon as I stopped talking about my present moment, I would dissociate again. Here are my feet. Okay, my feet are in these white flip-flops. I'm on a wooden floor. There's a desk in front of me. Here's my ring light. I have my water. And you're going to just start naming things in your physical reality. And you can touch them. You know, here's my computer. Here's my phone. Okay. This is my reality. There's some pillows and blankets over there. The wall is blue, right? I'm here. I'm here. Now we're going to go a step above that into what are some things around me that around me that I love. And so oh, I love this mug. My honey made it for me. It's me walking through you can't see it. It's me walking through the woods.
You can see it.
I love this bag that I have. It's all about love. I love the fact that I'm speaking with my wonderful, beautiful friend Joey. I love this picture of Isis next to me. I love that at the window I can see beautiful trees. I love the candles, right? Whatever it is, you're going to start naming the things that you love. And feel inside it's like between here and your pubic bone, right? It's the solar plexus heart area, the heart gut area. This release, you'll feel if it had a sound, it would go bing, right? Or at least it's like, right? Like, oh, okay. There's a confirmation in your body. You'll feel that love raise your vibration. Once you feel that release or relief or joy or love, that's when you're like, oh, raise my vibration. And honestly, if someone can just master doing that, that alone will have patience in their life. Because now, instead of them creating this momentum into the negative and creating more anxiety, you're so you're at ground zero. And so you raised your vibration, actually you're above that, you're in love, right? And so you've raised your vibration now, and that means whatever we create in the future, we don't know what it's going to be perhaps, but whatever we create, it's going to be better than what we would have created if we were stuck in anxiety and fear and worry, right?
Yeah.
So even just doing that will change everything so much, so much. And then you want to pause for a minute and celebrate. Look, I did it. I raised my vibration. I did the work. I shifted up. I shifted up. It's a choice. I had a choice to shift up or shift out, and I chose to shift up, and I'm doing this work, and I'm being present, and I'm healing, and I love myself. I'm excited. Way to go, self. You know, whatever.
Absolutely.
Amplify, like really amplify that, right? And then you'll feel good. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Like sometimes that's really it. That's the work. Oh, okay. I just realized I wasn't here. My mind was wandering. I was wherever. Now I'm here. I was singing a song in my head, pretending like I was a movie star. You know what I mean? Like it's not always bad, just sometimes we're not present. And sometimes that's it. That's all that you need to do. And that's great.
That's it. There we go. We're done. Just kidding.
That's it. That's it. That's it, guys. No. Sometimes we want to bring ourselves present, and especially if we were dissociated and feeling fear or worry or shame, something like it. We want to orientate ourselves. Am I safe? Like, am I safe? Am I being chased? Is someone being unkind to me? You know, is there a
What action?
Yeah. Is there actually some sort of reason for you to be stuck in fear? And this can be hard to do because say you're triggered because you got a bill. You see the bill is a lot. And then you're in your mind about, I can't afford this. I don't know how I'm going to afford this, yada, yada, yada. And so it spins. Bringing yourself present. Oh, it's going to be louder. Of course, they're mowing outside, but it'll just be a minute. It can be hard because we can bring ourselves present and go, well, the bill is right in front of me. So yeah, the problem is now. And so in that case, there's either an action to take or we realize, like, you know what, I don't have to pay this bill for another month. And I'm going to put it aside so I can look at it from a more empowered place. Or we're going to go, this is actually what's causing me distress. It is in my physical reality. I don't know how I'm going to pay the bill. And then we go into the steps of telling us. It's beckoning us to take some sort of action, right? And so like using the contrast of the moment, the experience of what you don't want to catapult you into, well, what do I want, right? So maybe I don't have the money in this moment to pay that bill, and that's causing me stress and frustration. I want to create more stress and frustration for myself. No. Do I want to create more fear of not having money? No. Okay. So what is this feeling I'm having of fear of not being able to pay my bills? What is it showing me I want? Right? Because we want to shift up, because we want to constantly be relentlessly responsible that what we allow ourselves to be is going to create some shit for us, right?
Yes.
So, okay, there's no action that I can take right now. Like I can't just pay the bill or whatever. So I'm gonna at least shift my vibration up. So this experience of feeling like I can't pay my bill is showing me that I want to be able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
What would that look like? What would that look like for you to be able to pay your bill? And then you went to your imagination station and see yourself having the money to pay the bill, going and paying it, being excited to write the check or swipe the card or whatever it is, and feeling it, right? Like really feeling how good it feels to pay this bill. And again, you will feel the physical confirmation that you have shifted up, because you'll go from tightness in your core to, oh, right? Like, it is nice. And so again, you raised yourself up out of the negative vibration. Now you're in the higher vibration of, oh, that would be really awesome. I look forward to that. Forward to paying my bills easily and effortlessly. I look forward to paying my bills with joy. Higher vibrational realm. And then maybe there's more work to do of, is there an action that I need to take to show the universe that this is what I really want? Because it's not just all mental, it's mental, physical, spiritual. So what tiny baby step could I take right now to show the universe that I want to create wealth for myself? Be as simple as like say if I have a job and I'm not able, still able to pay my bills, then maybe I want to look for another job. And I'm just gonna get on and peruse other jobs, right? Maybe I'm gonna post in Indeed or one of these websites, hey, I'm available for this kind of work, right? Maybe it's like, well, that doesn't feel right. Maybe I'm just going to do a meditation on manifesting money, right? There might be some sort of action that's taken place. And then after the action is taken place, then you get to feel good, like, okay, I shifted my vibration up. I showed the universe what I wanted. And now I know that it's going to work out. I might not know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to have faith that this is going to work out. And when the time comes, I will know exactly what to do, right? The bill's not due yet. When it's due, I will know what to do, right? Because if we look at our lives, we've made it through so far.
Yeah.
So far, somehow something happened. We figured it out, right? And in this moment, maybe we didn't figure out because this isn't the moment we're supposed to figure it out. Maybe the universe has some things it's got to reorganize for us. The universe is constantly conspiring for our greater good. That is the natural, that's just natural life. Earth herself, nature is constantly in a progression forward for the highest good for everybody. So if I don't have an answer right now, that something is working out. And see the difference between going, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I just shifted my vibration up. And so I know something awesome is going to happen. I'm excited for that to happen. I look forward to it. I'm going to move on about my day, right? Can you see the difference between what we would create by shifting up to that compared to, I'm going to pay this. I have to figure this out. I fucking hate my job. I got to find a better job. Like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing is, though, it's going to change both ways. That's fine. You can keep yourself out of the joy of it if you want.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah, it's a total choice. And with that too, right? Like, like some of us do choose to keep ourselves in the ship.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that,
Cool.
what's that?
I've certainly chosen it before, even
Yeah.
knowing that I'm still just kind of just losing my way, losing, the knowledge of how to do it. It's a muscle. It's a practice.
It is. It's a total, yes, it's a total muscle. And also sometimes we have programs active, beliefs active, and vows active, which this is the work that I do in session, is if we have a program active that says I deserve to be punished, if we took a vow of martyrdom, if we took a vow of poverty,
Yes.
if we have the belief that I am not worth my needs being met, right? If we have worth issues and belief issues around worth, and self-confidence and self-love, we might choose to not do the work. And that's when it's time to, maybe bring someone else in to help you shift your beliefs. In theta, it's a hypnosis where we can pull beliefs out and programs out and close contracts, and then download new beliefs and download new feelings. And because beliefs and new feelings are downloaded, then it makes it a little bit easier to do this kind of work.
Yes.
Yeah,
good hacks.
Yeah. And it just makes sense, right? Like if I have a fundamental subconscious belief that I deserve to be punished,
yeah,
sabotage.
Absolutely.
So if I shift that belief, then it'll be so much easier in these moments where we have the options to choose to shift that.
Yeah.
So say we did the thing, we realized, oh, I'm feeling anxious. Where are my feet? Here are the things around me that I love. And okay, sorry, somebody just commented something that was completely. Oh, the Insidious movie. Yes.
Oh yeah.
It was not good, Gabby. I didn't watch it. I had posted this whole short about choosing joy, and the way I chose joy one day was when I was dropping off my son to go see the Insidious movie. I got popcorn and nacho cheese, even though I wasn't seeing the movie, and I ate it, and I was just so happy, and that was how I found joy. And so, comment is related to that.
I love.
What was that?
I love that. I love that you still got to have like one of the funnest movie experiences, but you didn't subject yourself to.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes to like, I was living in the moment, right? So each moment, what could I do to bring myself joy right now? What could I do to, am I fully present? Am I fully present right now? So many times we're just having our life experience and we're half in it and half out of it.
Yeah.
And we don't realize the implications of that, right? We just don't realize. And so to paint the picture, right? Like there's the difference between if kids come and they sit and they're talking to me and I'm looking at them and I'm going, yeah. But I'm in the back of my head somewhere thinking about something else, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, right? How is that going to feel for them?
Yes.
Right? Compared to me being fully present and being like, oh yeah, oh wow, like fully embodying, I have a body, I can move it, I can make facial expressions, like I am here, right? Like I'm fully present, enjoying this moment, because time is the only thing we can't get back.
Yeah.
Our lives not present, and we look back and we have regret.
Absolutely.
Just choose to be present. So yeah, in that moment, it was like I had recognized that I was like, oh, he's going to the movie, he gets to have popcorn. And I want popcorn. And then I was like, well, get popcorn.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do that. You're not going to the movie. Well, who says? Right. Who says? Would it, and then like I check in, will it bring me joy to get popcorn? And it was like, yes, and nacho cheese to dip it in. So I got it. And I was just so excited. And then I sat in my car and just thought about, oh, I just manifested something super awesome for myself because I allowed myself to have what I wanted without guilt or shame or anything. I didn't judge it, hurting anybody. Although the popcorn gave me a tummy ache later, but that's beside the point. I really, I enjoyed my moment. And so that's basically what it's all about, is really making sure that you're fully present in each moment. Even when it's a shitty moment.
Yeah.
In it. Be in it. Because again, we do this thing where we try to pull back from experiencing the things that are unpleasant.
Yeah.
When we're having out, we're not learning the lessons that we brought the experience to us in the first place to learn. Right? And so we got to fully lean into it and really like, what would it look like for me to really feel this pain? What would it look like for me to really feel this sadness, this loneliness, this depression, this anger, whatever, what would that look like? And how can I do it to the fullest? And when I'm feeling sad, when I feel depression, right? Say I'm grieving. What would it look like if I fully, like, because so my mom's birthday is coming up on the 17th.
Okay.
And every year around her birthday, I just get sad. I get sad.
Yeah.
Passed away and I get sad. And so when I find myself like I'll start to realize like something's off, I'm not feeling so much joy. What's going on? And I'll realize, oh, it's near my mom's birthday. Okay. Muscle memory of grief. I have two choices here. I could dissociate from my grief and then I'm trapped in my body and manifest some symptom.
Yeah.
Or I can fully dive into my grief. And what would that look like? What would that feel like? Well, maybe I'm gonna watch really sad movies and listen to really sad songs, and I'm gonna curl up in a blanket and I'm gonna cry, and I'm gonna maybe get some treats for myself to make myself feel comforted, and maybe I'm gonna love myself, or whatever, like maybe I'm gonna call a friend and I'm gonna cry to my friend, like whatever it is that actually, it's like in that sadness, we can find joy in giving ourselves what we need fully. And then when we lean into it fully, it will pass so much faster.
Yeah.
Right? Everything we're experiencing, we're bringing it to us to teach ourselves something, to show ourselves something. So
to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think some of us really feel like it's dangerous. You know what I mean? It's like dropping. I mean, sometimes it feels so intense. It's like, that could kill me. And that's like, and maybe you don't even think that consciously, but we think that subconsciously. And so we just avoid the heck out of it. And you just got to be there with yourself and know, like, you can make it through. It's safe to do it. And it's really the point.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, I can't allow myself to feel the sadness or the grief that I actually have, because for me, I have a history of suicidal attempts.
Right.
So
it is dangerous.
So it was like, if I feel sad enough, do something, right? What I don't really want to do. And so I held myself back from it. And I remember realizing my body was sick because I had all this grief in me and I had to get it out. Like, again, taking personal responsibility that I created my reality. And if I want a better reality, then I've got to do the hard work. And I've got to show up fully. And so like walking ourselves through it and doing the what if thing of like, or what, so it's like, well, I can't allow myself to fully feel it because, it's like Pandora's box. It'll never end. It'll never end. And then I'll just be this depressed person. And it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen if you really feel it? Well, if I really feel it, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry a lot, a lot. Okay. Well, what then?
Yeah.
Then I'll just feel bad all the time and I won't be able to stop crying. Okay, well, what then? Well, then I'll get really depressed. What then? Well, then, for me, it used to not feel safe to go into that because I would go do drugs or.
Sure. We've learned to escape.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before I learned how to cope. But once I learned how to cope, I knew I wasn't going to kill myself.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the bar is that low, like just don't kill yourself. That's a rule. Just don't kill yourself. Go as deep into it as you. And so I would do things like I'm going to wear all black. Maybe that's what my sadness looks like today. I'm going to wear all black and maybe I'm going to do goth makeup and maybe I'm going to go way off the rails. But I'm going to reach a point where that no longer feels good. Like if we're fully present with ourselves, we'll see that sometimes feeling bad feels good.
Yeah.
And then it'll get to the point like sometimes feeling depressed feels good because I need to be depressed. I need to feel my feelings. Like everyone needs to leave me alone, yada, yada, yada. And then at some point it gets to like, this doesn't feel good anymore. Now I've given my power over to this depression. And then it's time to make some other choices, But in my experience, by fully diving into it, the experience passes so much quicker. But we have to be present with how we're actually feeling. Because the matter is, when I did have suicidal thoughts or actions, or when I chose drugs, it was because I was dissociated and powerless. It wasn't because I was in my moment taking responsibility that I had the power to create my reality. Right? So like, that's how important it is to be present and how everything in the healing, like it begins with that. And so really encouraging, like with everybody that I work with, that's where we started, we have to learn how to be present because then, we can be present and then we stop creating stories about our feelings, right? So say we, just here are my feet, here are the things I love. Okay, I'm here, I raised my vibration, way to go. Am I safe? Okay, I'm safe. I'm just beating myself up. Sometimes we have to go, well, where was I? Right?
Yeah.
Where was I? Oh, I was remembering the day my mom did this thing and it fucking ripped me. The reason it's coming up is because it's ready to be healed and released. It's not coming to just torture you. Right? It's coming up because it's like, hey, I'm at the surface, I'm bubbling, and I'm ready to be seen, loved, and released. And then our inner child work or whatever, and release it. And then we don't get triggered by it again and again and again. And it can lead into manifestation work, right? Like how I manifested my house. I didn't know I was manifesting. I was just trying to raise my vibration because I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
That illness couldn't thrive in a high vibration body. And so every time I was homeless, or every time I was feeling something about being homeless, I would say, what is being homeless showing me I want?
Yeah.
Well, I want a house. What does that house look like? Oh, it looks like this, it looks like this, it has hardwood floors, wall windows, yada, yada, yada.
You're basically just playing, right?
I was just playing. I was just trying, like I really was experimenting with the idea that if I raised my vibration in the moment, something better would happen. That was all my guides had said, right? Like if you can raise your vibration in the moment, if you can do the emotional alchemy to
Yeah.
the feeling that you're having and find another way to think about it, you know, in other topic Tuesdays, we're going to go more into alchemizing the emotions.
Yeah.
But when we have a negative thought, alchemizing it so that it brings relief. And raising the vibration like that creates something better. I hadn't seen it in my life, right? My life was in shambles. I was homeless. I was an organ failure. Like it was just a shit show.
Same.
I was desperate enough, like I was dying. I had nothing to lose. So it was fertile soil for me to experiment. And I was like, I'm just going to choose to believe that if I raise my vibration in the moment, not only will my body heal, but I will somehow find a way out of homelessness. Like something better will be created. And I wasn't attached to what that thing was, right? I knew it was going to be better. Anything was better than what I had, right? And so in each moment, I would be feeling shitty, and I felt shitty a lot back then. And in each moment, it was, okay, why am I feeling shitty? Do I want to create more of this shitty feeling? No, then I'm going to do the work to alchemize it because I create my reality based on how I'm feeling right now. And if I'm feeling by how I'm feeling right now, I am creating chaos and I am so over creating chaos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is this feeling showing me that I really truly want? Because this feeling is not just here to torture me, it is my friend. It is here to show me something.
Right.
Right?
Well, our bodies are torturing us. Like our bodies are really trying to speak to us in the language that they know.
Exactly. And that's sensation.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just like, I would go, well, if I literally had like communication going on. I was receiving divine communication.
Yeah.
And in my story time, I'll share about that in detail. But so guides, they would literally moment by moment, they would be like, hey, you're feeling like this. Do you want to create more of this? I'd be like, no. And they'd go, okay, well, what do you want to create? What is it showing you want? And I was like, well, I guess I want a house if I don't like being homeless. And they would go, okay, what does the house look like? What go into it? And they would tell me, don't hold back, because again, you're just playing right now. You're just playing. You're just trying to raise your vibration and feel better so you can manifest something better. And so I would be up for it. And I would, I want stained glass window and I want a kitty. I want this. Now, what ended up happening months later, like 4 months later, after doing that for 4 months, I manifested a grant that paid for a house for a year, all the bills, and I got to the house. And when I picked the house I got literally was the house I had been walking around in my mind.
How amazing.
It's just like mind blowing. And so when we get really serious and really relentlessly self-responsible about harnessing the power that we have and by being present in the moment, we can manifest very specific things. I've manifested cars, I've manifested the property that I live on right now, I've manifested the community that I live in, and now I live a life that I love living. I wake up absolutely mind blown that I get to live this day. I have an amazing relationship with my partner. Like I own my own business and I love what I do. It blows my mind that I get to do what I get to do. I'm just so full of gratitude and appreciation for my guides and appreciation for myself that I was willing to experiment, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think like that's the big thing that I just want to really encourage everyone to do is experiment in your lives of what your life looks like if you choose to believe that this is true. And then do the work to act as though you believe it.
Yeah.
And it's like play. It's like play. Like the way that you explain your guides talking to you, it like wouldn't it be amazing if that's how we were taught to play as children? That would be amazing, because then it's like not even work. It's just the play of life. And with you have a calm adult that's willing to go, no, hold on now. Wait. But what would you prefer? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Now, okay. But what would you prefer?
Yeah. And that's how they were too. And through them being so gentle like that, it actually showed me how it affected my parents.
Yeah.
Because I saw much more willing I was to do things when I was receiving direction in a loving, empowering way rather than in an authoritative way of saying, well, you have to do this or whatever. And so I started to, it reflected in my parenting, the way that my guides were speaking to me. I would then I'd be like, oh, I need to do this with my kids. Like, oh, this is what that feels like. Like, oh, this is so helpful for me. I'm going to teach my kids. And they would even step in, like when I was parenting, I used to rage. I would rage. I had mold issues and I had Lyme rage and it was uncontrollable and caused a lot of problems for a lot of time. And then when I started to do the healing, they would come in, and when I started to rage, it wasn't like, look at what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Why are you're gonna like you're raging on your kids and they're not. It was just like this gentle, like, hey, what does your body feel right now?
Yeah.
To feel this, the adrenaline would rush. That was the first sign. The adrenaline would rush and they would say, tell them you need a break. Rage, right? Because I was gonna rage. Like because it wasn't me, it was endotoxins in my brain and the illness and stuff. And so the rage was gonna come. It had already started. But they taught me how to go, hey, I can feel I'm about to lose control and you don't deserve that and I don't want to do that for you. Go to your room. I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna lose my shit and it has nothing to do with you. And then when I'm regulated, I can come back and then you're talking about things. And it changed it saved my parenting. When I start talking about, because it's hard for me to talk. I wanted to share that I've received divine communication, whether people call it channeling or I don't know what to call it.
Also, we all do. That's just the way.
Yeah. And for some reason, after I had some experiences, it became very apparent.
Well, you have chosen to experience most things in a very intense manner. So why not your guidance as well?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, go big or go home. I'm here for it, you know, I'm here for it all. I want, there's like this thing of, um, when I don't know if it's like, when I go to heaven, I don't want to walk in all put together. I want to slide in like I'm sliding into home base. Like
Nice.
I did,
Made
I
it.
did that. I made it. I did that. I did the best that I could in every moment. And ultimately, like that's just my goal for myself. I'm in competition with the person I was yesterday. And
Yeah.
I just want to be, I believe we came here, especially those of us alive, doing this healing work. We came here to do this so that we could raise the vibration of the planet. And we are bringing, like, we are part of the ascension. Like, it's amazing. We get to be superheroes, like real legitimate superheroes. I'm gonna get a kid. I need a kid.
Yep.
Because, like, I think like when we really harness that self-responsibility and that power that we have and we're doing the work, then it comes the understanding that as you raise your vibration, that ripples out. And even if you never tell anyone what you're doing, that vibration will ripple out, or someone will see a difference in you and they're going to go, wait a minute, what's going on? Or suddenly they're going to be thinking like, oh, I need to do some counseling, or I need a journal, whatever it is. Like, we all affect other people. And so part of taking that power is like, many of us, this is the planet where of like self-will. We can't plan it from an outside perspective. So we had to incarnate. And so we chose to come from the higher dimensional wherever we were and incarnate into this lower frequency and take on all the trauma and take on, not as like a savior, not to slip into like,
So it's not even lower, it's just denser, and we're choosing to experience polarity, and that's kind of hard. I mean, it's just a lot.
yeah, and we take in like the ancestral trauma, and then we're raised in a low vibration family. And then at some point, all of us start to go, oh, it's time to heal. And then we do this healing work to transmute not only our own stuff, but our ancestors' stuff. And then the planet raises the vibration. And as we heal, we walk more gently on the earth. We can go from being parasites to being like a blessing to the earth. And it just ripples out. And so like really the work that we're doing, I think is just the most important part. It's really the most important.
Well, and I don't think we can even avoid it. You know what I mean? Like those of us,
Well, we
especially
can.
tuned in. Well, we're gonna affect the people around us one way or another.
Right.
We're definitely all connected, and whether we see it or not, like it's happening. Like we've all felt negative people and what that will do to us. You know, we've had people shut us down, shut our light down. And so the more you choose to be, you know, an example of how to flow with that, how to work with that, and how to choose something better, the more people are going to feel it, even if you don't ever talk.
Yeah. And like taking ownership over, we matter whether we believe it or not. We are, like you said, like we are going to affect other people. So harnessing, how do I want to affect other people? What effect do I want to have? What footprint do I want to leave here? When I go, do I want to be remembered as someone that has problems or was a victim or like yada, yada, yada? Or do I want to be remembered as someone that did the work and showed up and healed herself and, you know, tried to be the best mom she could be? And just, you know, it's like, what kind of a legacy do we really want to leave? Because we do affect other people. And I want to affect people in a positive way. Nobody's perfect, obviously. But I want to try to do my best to be the example of what it looks like so that other people know what it looks like. And so that, like my kids, a lot of it is about my kids. I want to be the example I don't want them to just hear what I say and then, you know, be like, oh, do as I say, not as I do. Like, no, we have to be the example so that they know what it looks like, you know, and just really harnessing that and realizing we do have a choice.
Yeah.
We can either shift up or shift out. Like we're either going to, because the light is coming in on the planet. She is raising her vibration. And so we're either going to choose to do the work to shift up while we're in the body, and that looks like healing, or we're going to choose to stay in the lower vibration and shift out. And that could look like all kinds of things. A lot of times we choose to shift out, it creates illness. And if we don't at some point go, okay, I'm going to shift up, we will leave the body, or it'll look like depression and suicide. And not to say, hey, listen, either way is great.
It's all fine. It's all experiences. You get to choose.
Right. You get to choose. And like both of my parents, the way they brought the light into the planet was by leaving their bodies. And that's like, that's great. I'm so glad that they left before COVID. My parents would have gone nuts during that, you know? So like, it's great. They left their body, even when it's suicide, right? Like my mom passed away and it's like kind of, you know, it was like suicidal. And even the like that, like she chose to leave her body that way. And that's fine. Like that's her choice. But we're gonna choose to shift up and in the light that way. And it's not easy, you know, but it's fun.
It's not easy. That's so funny. When you and I were talking the other day, I remember we were saying something about it's not easy. And then I said, like, but it's not easy not to. Like, at this point, it's too hard not to. It's like, it's painful. It's just so damn
painful.
So I choose pain.
That pain is the catalyst.
Yeah.
You know, that pain is the catalyst. It's there for a reason. And I think too, if we're shifting out, it's happening so much faster now.
It is. I think everything's happening. And there's also just so much more possibility for us to really get in this present moment and work with it. You know what I mean? I almost feel like there's just so many like limitations, like metaphysically or energetically put in place that now just are not, they can't do it. They can't keep us stuck that way.
Yeah. And just, I mean, it's all shifting. Like you start shifting up. It's like you're shifting up so fast now. It's like at an accelerated pace, which can be unenjoyable because, you know, your life might be a train wreck for a little bit, but, you know, coming through that, like I see people are really waking up. It's happening really, really fast. Either they're leaving the body or they're like, I got to do something. And I mean, it's awesome. It's just awesome.
And then there's just, you know, there's also the fact that like at that point, we were also talking about people start to purge from your life, and that can be scary and that can make you want to stop, or, you know, it'll trigger you back into old things. There's all sorts of things that can trigger you back. But again, it's just like more, for me, it's more painful to stay stuck in those triggers than it is to, okay, now hold on, let's get back. And I've been working on this metaphysical shit since I was like freaking 12, but still, you know?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you came here to do this work for sure.
It's definitely still, you know, something I have to consciously choose. The way I describe it is I'll go back to sleep for years sometimes and then be like, whoa, what have I been doing? Especially if I get in a crappy relationship, right? Like,
I've
done it.
Yeah, we get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I say all the time, like, I love working with you because you show up ready to do the work and like, you know, looking at yourself and like just, it's fun to do the work with you because, we're distracted and stuff. It can be not so great. And I just love like watching you be like, I'm I'm here to, like you said, I've been doing this metaphysical stuff since I was 12. I'm here
Yeah.
to do it, you know, and I just think they're doing so awesome.
And it's really, thank you. It's kind of interesting too, because like you were talking about how a lot of your inspiration is just your children, and the way, you know, you want to make sure you're leading by example. You know, I don't have children and I don't have parents and like don't have any immediate family. It's kind of interesting. Like my responsibility is to myself. That's where I'm,
Yes.
and it's kind of crazy. It's definitely kind of lonely. But it's like I have to find myself the most fascinating thing. I have to find myself worthy, you know, like I'm not doing it for my kids or my fur babies. Not that I don't love them, but they're on a different journey. But
Right.
yeah, it's just and really that's kind of where we all have to, like myself and my inner children. Right, that's huge. Like I
Yeah.
have to be able to love myself in that same way and go, you know, that's what's worth it for me, because here I am. This is the only one that's going with me along the whole journey. And so let's treat us right, right? Let's do it right. I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah, because you matter. And like at the same time that it is for you, right? Like it's also for the children in the world.
Yes.
Also
Yes.
for your neighbor. It's also for your friends. You know, it ripples out. And so it's like, I remember I had migraine for 9 months and I was like laid out. I could not get out of bed for 9 months. I had to literally crawl to go to the bathroom. It was horrible. And I would lay in bed and I would go like, I'm worth nothing. I can't do anything. I can't take care of my kids. I can't take care of my partner. I literally can't do anything. I'm worthless. And my guides would come in and they would go, would you say that to someone else who's in that
Exactly.
situation? I'd be like, no, I would never say that to anyone else. And um, they would go, okay, well, so like, why for them and not for you? And understanding that right now, laying out, I was doing so much inner work. Like I was talking to myself and I was processing trauma. I was, you know, learning to be okay with, resting. I was learning that my worth was not tied to my work and what I could give and what I could do. That doing that work of learning that I am worthy regardless of what I have to offer, that ripple out. And so my guides would be like, you doing this work, this is where the concept of us being superheroes came from. Just you laying in bed, doing work is rippling out. It's affecting everyone. You live in an apartment. It's affecting everyone in this building and they don't even know it. Like, so it's like, yeah, it is for us. Ultimately, it has to be for us. But in
Yes.
moments where we feel maybe alone or like there's not a reason to do it, us remembering that ripples out, it affects everyone, it affects the planet vibration, and it just, yeah, I mean, I really believe it saves the world. I really do. I really do. So I just want to great, it's about time. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And I think today went great.
I do too. I've had so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Betsy, for hanging out, and Gabby. I don't know if you saw Betsy's comment, Joey, but she said I talk to myself a lot too.
Yeah. Nice.
We
Oh,
have to. Yeah. Thank you, Natasha. And thank you, Joey. Thank you for joining me. So
absolutely.
next Tuesday, because we're going to be back on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go over story time. And since we got the update out of the way, this story time is going to begin at the beginning of my story. The purpose of doing story time is to refresh my memory about my life and what I went through so I can write my book. And I do it better when I have someone to talk to about it. So Joey's going to join me for that, and she's going to help me dig, and do some work. And then
Plus, it's fascinating.
what's that?
Your story is fascinating stuff.
Thank you. I feel so like the story I tell anymore, so it's really easy to forget. Like when I have moments, like especially when I do mushroom journeys and I get real like, oh, I lived through that. Like it's kind of intense. So easy to forget. And so I'm really grateful that you're going to be joining me to help like jog my memory, because it's not until I have some reason to tell the story that I tell it. Because I don't just walk around telling myself my drama story. And so I really appreciate you being willing to be present with me. So that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. And then next Tuesday at 1 p.m., I think it would be really good, perhaps, like filling this in. Maybe we'll think of something different. But talking about the side effects of raising our vibration, such as the purge.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you think so? I think.
Yeah, I do like that.
Okay, so we'll plan on that next Tuesday, talking about like the kind of shifts around that can happen as a result of raising your vibration, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's all good. Sometimes it's not so fun.
Like that.
But thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I love everyone that is watching, and I send you so much love and so much light and just love. And I hope
Much.
has a great day.
Bye.
Good. Joey, I'm gonna stay on
Yeah.
with you. But I'm gonna end the live if I can figure out how to do it on YouTube. If I can figure out. Okay, here we go. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a great day. Okay.